Good morning, and how is everybody doing on this fine winter's day? So I thought I would jump on. I've not been banging on about the love tuners as I've actually been busy. Um, so busy, I've not managed to keep up with a lot of the things that I usually can do and enjoy. For example, lives. But I don't know if you're joining and you have a love tuner, please get it out. And if you haven't, I'm going to talk a little bit about that as to why I really find it such a useful tool to have because it's hanging around your neck, right? So it is very obvious. Even when you touch it, you're like, okay, I can calm myself down, whatever you need it for. If you're stuck in traffic, if you're late, if you're having an issue with anybody at your work or in your family, or wherever, your kids. There's lots of things going on right now that I think, you know, the the economy, the changes, the kind of difference in opinions that we all have, it just can bring a lot of conflict into our day-to-day lives. And levels of disease are really, that's, as you know, the thing that concerns me most is people staying well. And obviously we understand there's a holistic overview and all of that. What are we eating? What are we thinking? What are we drinking? Who are we hanging around? Because, I think there's never been a more important time to be with your tribe, to make life as easy on yourself as possible. And of course, you've got Christmas and New Year coming up, where often you get put together with people that you maybe wouldn't normally sit round a table with. And how do you manage that without causing any conflict? And if you watch as many near-death stories as I do, people that have died and then come back, it certainly seems that you're not getting judged on your watch or your handbag. You're getting judged on how you make people feel and how kind and compassionate you are. So if you believe there's a day of reckoning, there's a lot of reckoning going to be coming, because the levels of corruption and deceit in our government and in our big tech companies and in big pharma is too much for most of us to really take on. So what do we do? What do we do? We go inside. You may have noticed I'm posting a lot about the energy side of the body, the electromagnetic side of the body, which is invisible to the eye. Well, for most of us, some people can see it. And that energy side is electromagnetic in nature. Our thoughts travel through this electrical current. Our emotions are more magnetic, although I'm simplifying it here, obviously. And this is how we co-create. And this is how we create a state inside the body. Now, all of us, we want to feel at peace. We want to feel love. And up until recently, we've been looking out there for that. Can you help me feel peaceful? Can you help me feel safe? Can you help me feel love? Looking for another person or another thing or an animal or whatever, glass of wine, whatever it is we're looking at, to change how we feel so that we can feel safe, feel at peace, and like what we're feeling rather than go, wah! And most of us know that as fight or flight. So we're either rest, restore, repair, which is the more peaceful states. And then we have fight or flight or freeze, fawn, which are where the anxiety, depression, anger, pride, ego likes to come up and keep us in these states of drama, these states of stress, which are also very addictive. And what I believe we're seeing now is that we're looking at how can we, morning Susan, how can we as humans, despite what's going on out there, stay in this neutral state? And that's, of course, where love tuna is just an absolute no-brainer as far as I'm concerned. And yes, I know there's lots of ways. There's tuning forks, there's lots of stuff. Morning, Sally. There's lots of ways you can get into 528, but see having this round your neck and you can just blow it. I mean, obviously you have to be mindful, or do you, where you're blowing. Good morning, Lauren. How you doing? So this very simple little flute, it's a breath work exercise, a very gentle one. So you're breathing in through the nose, all the way into the belly, and then you just blow out. And I'm going to show you different ways that you can do that for different results, okay? Because as usual, there's never one size fits all. So breathing in, fill the belly. How easy is that? So they recommend 6 of these. But there's different ways to let go of the breath. And what can happen is that you can try and not breathe out too quickly to make your out breath last longer. But what I see in the heart rate variability is you're better just to let it all go. Surprise, surprise. So instead of trying to control and show how great you are holding your breath, just actually blow into it with ease and it's difficult to explain. You really kind of need to have one, or even if you have a mouth organ. It's the key of C, and what this does is sound, right? So you imagine the acoustic system that you have inside your head, and how these frequencies come in and how they come into the brain and how they affect the body. And then we've got this nice deep breath, and then we're just letting that breath go, because this is how we regulate our emotions. And nobody's taught us this, and it's so frustrating for me, because you're like, oh, if you would just learn to breathe properly, hum, tune, you'd feel so much better. So it's meditative, you're breathing in, you're gently blowing out, so there's the power of the breath, there's the meditative side to it, and then of course there's the sound. You're literally giving yourself a sound bath. So we're just going to tune in, and if you don't have a love tuner, just close your eyes and listen. And if you do have a love tuner, just close your eyes and tune in. So I'm just going to do 6, okay? So breathing in, into the belly. Now remember, there's no competition. It's just you and your tuner, you and your ears, breathing in. Five to eight is the love frequency. Just feeling that love through the heart into every cell in the body. Okay, and just regulate your breathing. So now I can feel that warm, loving feeling spreading throughout my chest. And as I said, there's different ways to do this, but this is just really easy and it's hanging around your neck and never go anywhere without mine. So again, just adjust how you're feeling because we're always chasing a feeling. Either we want to feel like this or we don't want to feel like that. Attraction and repulsion. I like this, I don't like this. I like this, I don't like this. That constant judgment, which of course, as we know, changes your contraction at a cellular level. So it's like, she said, she's that, he did that, they did that, did you hear about this, did you hear about that? Gossip, gossip, gossip. Either talking about yourself and your cells are listening, or talking about somebody else, or talking about somebody in your life in a negative way has an impact on our body. We know this. So it's really clever to stop judging other people, and it's very clever to stop judging yourself and your cells, because everything that we say, think, feel, believe, perceive, conceive, and do, that frequency is going through every cell in our body. And this is really critical to know if you are sick and if you're trying to heal. We have to get into this state. And I'm not saying you can't heal to a certain degree if you're a little bit stressed, but the body, you're asking the body to do something that it's not in the correct state for doing. So it's like asking me, if I'm worrying about something, asking me to do something else. I could probably do it, but will I do it as well? No. So think about it. You want somebody to run upstairs, you don't put a 200 pack on their back when their knees are already struggling. They could probably manage to get up the stairs, but they would destroy things in the process. So what we want to do is put the body back into the state where the IQ is as high as it possibly can be, because when we go into fight or flight, our IQ drops. What does that mean? We're not thinking straight. And if you want to have a very deliberate outcome for in your family, for example, or in your workplace, you must be in that neutral, loving state. And that's not to say you won't have boundaries, you will, but you will be able to communicate in a completely different way. And you're much more likely to get a result that works for both parties. So as you know, normally I'm working with people who have been told that they're going to die and there's nothing else that they can do. And it's incurable, it's inoperable, it's aggressive, all that language, which is, to say the least, unhelpful, dangerous. And if you're somebody who takes on other people's points of view easily, and that's just something that happens, especially when you're younger and you've not realised yet, you've not learned a lot of things, it's very easy just to believe the bad news and find it hard to be cynical about the good news. I don't know why that is, but that's just the way it seems to be with us humans. So when you're wanting to go, right, okay, I was looking at a guy who healed lung cancer this morning, and I was like, right, that's pretty incredible, you know, and the protocol very clearly written out. But will that work for everybody? No, probably not. Will you do it? Will you believe it's possible for you? Probably not, because probably not enough people have done it yet. Because here's what most of us do. We wait until enough people have done it, and then we're like, now I'll try it. Instead of forging the way and saying, well, if they can do it, then I can do it. And a lot of that is because of our limiting beliefs, our star sign, our place in the family, our life experience to date, our genetics. There's lots of different things that are affecting and influencing our levels of faith. And that's a big key part as well. I think we mix up religion and faith. Religion has obviously got very, very bad press. And nobody really wants anything to do with that because, again, it was used to control, guilt, to get you to do what other people want you to do. Whereas faith is something that's way, way, way beyond that, where you're have an inner knowing that you're connected to a source, whatever that is to you, where there's a higher intelligence, something way more intelligent than us, which I know there is. I know how limited I am, and I'm work on it a lot to break free of all the concepts and labels and stories. Now, what can happen is it's the 80-20, isn't it? Always about the 80-20. So if you have 10-15% of people who are questioning the medical model, and then the other 80-90 are pushing back, going, no, you're wrong. And then they start to go, and then it breaks away, and then it moves up to 20% of people that are questioning. And then it starts to break down a wee bit because we're starting to get more of a, like, we can push back. I'm using the medical model as an example, but any belief system. It's all about, we tend to believe if enough people tell us it enough times, we'll believe it, because that's just what a belief is. So we're going to do some letting go around beliefs that no longer serve you. Because when you understand you can believe anything you want, why would you not start believing good stuff? Stuff that really makes you feel empowered and alive with an ability to take part in your community. Because I don't know if you know yet, things are about to change in a massive, massive way. And we're going to have to look after each other. And we're maybe going to have to stand up to people who think they can tell us what to do. The economy could go on its head and things can get very tough for people. And that, I believe, is when the human spirit, I think it probably has to happen. We all get back to our communities and we start looking on solutions that work for everybody and not just the goons in power. Okay, so, but let's take it back to your health and your relationships, because very often, from the Sedona Method perspective, we look at the 3 areas in life where things can go wrong: your health, your wealth, and your relationships. And in my experience of doing this for a long time now, the relationships are possibly the most important thing there, because if you have great, nourishing, rewarding relationships, you're going to be healthier. Community is immunity. If you've got a community that you can trust, that you know are there for you, that have got your back, then you're going to feel safer. It's just the way it is. And also, if you can go to your work and you enjoy your work and you're working with a great team that are really looking, like myself, Lauren, Lee, Jonathan, really like, let's get this health trajectory turned around. Let's help the people in addiction. Let's look at what we can co-create, and let's inspire the people to change how they see themselves, to understand the miraculous nature of the body, and the understanding there's something way, way, way bigger than this level of suffering that a lot of us are currently experiencing. So when you've got the right team of people around you, it's way more fun and it's way more effective. And really what I want for Heal Scotland is results. And it looks like after decades of howling at the moon, things are starting to come together, and we've got a place now for people to come. We're going to brainstorm. We're bringing all the people that are walking the road less travelled. We're bringing them together. We're looking, what are you doing? What's working for you? Sharing is caring. And the issues are in your tissues, the fascia, the understanding of what the body is holding. It's all been about the vagus nerve, and the vagus nerve, and now it's all the fascia. God knows what it'll be next week. The body, the crystalline plasma that holds the body together, the communication that comes through the DNA, the electromagnetic field in the electromagnetic field. It's so exciting. I can't even tell you how exciting it is. And then obviously all the energy biotherapies that we have now to assist the body, that work on these waves, sine waves, square waves, far infrared, near infrared, UV. We're using sound, 528, all of this to send new information into your body, not just the food, not just the exercise. In fact, it's probably less about that, about movement. It's about mindfulness. And we'll have the master of that, Gary Young, up in Skye. Beingness, observing, listening, not forcing, trusting. We're going to be doing this in Skye as well. I've got amazing retreats set up for you. And I'm doing one on 5 to 8. Be a meditating, fascia loving, nature loving experience of stillness and beingness. So yeah, let's look at some letting go. What is holding you back? And if you want to ping anything in the box, if there's something you're particularly struggling with, ping it into the box and I'll help you let it go. We hold on to these stories, and let's take this like you've got your terminal, your stage 4, whatever language is getting used, which strikes fear into the best of us. And then, as Byron Katie would talk it through the 4 questions. I am dying. Well, we all are, if you look at it from that perspective. But I am dying soon, or I am dying within the next whatever time frame. Is it true? And can I 100% know that it's true? And with all the people that define the odds now, you absolutely can't. And how does it make me feel when I choose to believe that thought, especially when it's been given to me by somebody else who's never lived in here? How does it make me feel? And who would I be without that thought? Because I really believe we need to stop using that language. It's dangerous. So, turn it around. I am living. Yeah, because if you're watching this, you're alive. And just for today, can that be enough? Because none of us know what tomorrow's going to bring, right? Stay out of tomorrow. Stay out of tomorrow. And as Joe Dispenza says, get very comfortable with the unknown. I've been a conspiracy theorist for a long time now. So I'm like, what is going to happen in our world? Things are going to change. I don't know how it's going to look. But I need to stay out of that because it could actually drive me insane. So it's like, just for today, what can we do? And it's in the 12-step program, which I think is incredible. I think we should all be doing it. And also, a friend Paul's got 12 Steps for Life, another phenomenal, almost like Scotland's Wild Medicine, put into a nutshell. Great idea. You can see his page. In fact, I'll put his website up and you can have a look at it, because I actually downloaded Steps the other day and I thought, yeah, that's clever to do that on a little, just to do it, just to have the reminder of what to do. Because the thing is, we all kind of know what to do, don't we? We kind of know what not to eat. We might not be exactly sure what foods are superfoods and what's macros and micros and proteins. And it doesn't really matter, but we do know eating a lot of crap is not good for us. So, but we still do it. So it's not the knowledge, absolutely not the knowledge that gets us results. It's the action and making the right choices. So have a look at that. You might find it very helpful. So what can we let go of? So if you've got somebody in your life right now that's causing you grief, and I've had this over the last few months, people so abusive and telling horrible lies about me. It's like, what? And, you know, it's hurtful at first, but then you're just like, right, okay, that's not about you. Because if I'm projecting and saying awful, terrible things about you, that's about how I'm feeling. So we have to take responsibility. The only thing that we can change is ourselves. So if there's anybody in your life right now that's really upsetting you, anybody you're worried about, or you're potentially going to worry about, tests, waiting for results, all of that stuff, which can be very, very stressful. Most of us have experienced that. Or maybe there's somebody in your workplace that's driving you insane. Maybe it's a boss. Maybe you're worried about a child. There'll be something out there probably involving another human that is causing you stress, which is our responsibility. So what I'll get you to do is just to think of that person right now. Close your eyes and think about them. And how does the body react when you think about that person? What can you feel? And just for now, as best you can you just allow that feeling to be there? Welcome all the sights, sounds, and sensations that come with that feeling. Maybe you can hear the voice, maybe you can feel it, maybe you're thinking things. It doesn't matter, just welcome it all. And then, could you let it go? Would you let it go? When? And if you're ready, just say the word now and let it go. Set it free. Okay, and maybe you can feel a change, maybe not. Doesn't matter, it doesn't mean it's not changed. Always understand, even if you've not consciously felt the change, you've still had very clear intention to let it go. So therefore, to some degree, it's released. So think about them again. Welcome all the sights, sounds, and sensations, and then just let it all go. And then welcome all wanting control, security, approval, separation, and oneness. And just let it all go. Come on. Set the past free. And welcome all wishing they were different, wishing things were different, wishing you were different, and just let it all go. And welcome all taking it personally, feeling that it's personal. Welcome it completely and just let it go. And welcome all feeling of waiting for things to change, waiting for the body to change, waiting for them to change, waiting for you to change, so that you can be happy, putting your happiness away somewhere in the future. Welcome all of that and just let it go. And welcome all trying to figure it all out. What, why, but, if, and all of that. Why? Welcome it all and just let it go. Come on. Unhook your wee talons from the past and set yourselves free. And take your attention into your heart. And just breathe in and out of there. This incredible organ that we used to think just pumped blood round the body. Breathing in and out of there. And think of the person again that you were thinking about. See if they've changed. See how it feels. Welcome and just let it go. And let me know in the box if you've felt anything, if anything's changed, if you've changed, if they've changed, if it feels different, if it feels better, easier, lighter. Sometimes you need to practice this over and over again until the veil of the past lifts and you can look out and see the power that you have, feel the power that you have for co-creation. So we're going to be in Skye. I don't know if there's any places left in the first week, but then we've got the 3-day water fast, we've got the microbiome and ecosystem course, and then we have the 528. So if you have struggling with any conditions, come along. And if you're a member of our community, which I'll also put in here, you get great discounts on our retreats. And the reason that the community is £5 a month, we can talk freely in there about health, because as you know, because Big Pharma own everything. There's not things you're not allowed to talk about. YouTube just took a video of mine down last week. I was like, what? I don't even know why they took it down, but that's the reality of big tech now. So inside our community, we can talk freely about all the incredible things that people are doing. And I was listening to Josh Axe, a doctor, and he was saying all the really great stuff that he knows now, he never learned at school. It's all self-directed learning and learning from people that have got the bravery to take matters into their own hands, to research all these other things that you can do. And if you've never had a diagnosis, now is the time to learn and prevent, because it's carnage out there. So many people unwell, and that affects the whole family, and so many people struggling with fear and disabilities. And yeah, it can be quite dark and grim if you look out. But I'm not making fun of anybody's situation, but sometimes you just have to laugh, because you're like, oh my God, how did we get here? And where are we going to go? Because that's what it's all about now. Nobody's coming to save us, unfortunately. We, the people, are going to have to make the change and be the change that we want to be. And a huge part of that, of course, is standing up and taking your power. I had a great chat with Claire Gallagher the other night. It was unfortunate the internet was really dodgy, but we were just saying about who really wants to go into politics. Nobody, except people that want power. But the reality is, what's going to happen if we, the people, don't stand up and say, right, enough. The most expensive energy in the world? Seriously? We're all just sitting around going, that's okay? No. We're going to have to take action. And obviously, as you know, Scotland's my passion, our health picture. Highest rates of suicide, highest drug deaths, highest rates of cancer. It's just completely and utterly unacceptable. And the only person that can change it is us. And if we all get together and do it together, we can make it fun, and we can, network, brainstorm and network and forge ahead with solutions. So, and on that note, I'm going down to Malky's place at Tarbert Holiday Park this afternoon again. It's absolutely incredible. What a facility. And if you don't live in the area, go there for a weekend. They've got lodges, podges. They've got a beautiful far infrared sauna and a big sauna outside, 2 plunge pools, and also right by the river. And obviously they're right on the sea, on the beach at the front. Got a huge, if you run events, if you're looking for a retreat venue, amazing. Got a beautiful, huge big hall. They've got classes going on, and what else? A state-of-the-art gym. And yeah, it's just, I was like, I'm obviously going to be moving up to the Central Belt, but what a joy for people in Argyll to have that facility. And you can join the gym for £30 a month, which is phenomenal value for money. So there's brilliant stuff popping up. We've got the Health Hub. Obviously, I'm so excited about that and what we can offer to people who come to me with a stage 4 terminal diagnosis. I can say, now come up here. Oxygen, pulsed electromagnetic frequencies, and red light. You have no idea when we start recharging the body with mimicking nature. the difference that people are having with their health is, oh, it's beyond exciting. So there's hope. Regardless of what you've been told, there is absolutely is hope, and we are only just starting. So yeah, please join the community if you can. A £5 a month, £1.20 a week. If you're a business, it's £12 a week. We want really good quality leaders, healers, teachers in there to help brainstorm, solve the problems. And it's all going to be about every single one of us taking action. And even in the community, using the community, commenting, giving suggestions, asking questions, everybody has to play a part. It's one of the law of unintended consequences about democracy is that you just think, oh, somebody else will do it. Well, look what happened because we thought somebody else will do it. We thought, oh, well, the government will do it. Look what happened. Oh, it's okay. The NHS will do it. All our systems are creaking under the weight of these laws of unintended consequences. So, and we're getting called out now to stand up, stand in our power, take control, and get our community sorted out. We can do it. I had a really interesting chat with Ailsa Clark because she's worked with both my daughters, and she brought out a mural they'd done 30 years ago on what young people saw were the issues, and lo and behold, the one she's just done with the young ones nowadays, it's exactly the same things. So what are we going to do about that? Because that's where we have to go. Get them young, teach them all this incredible stuff. Don't allow them to have decades of misery, not understanding that they can regulate their emotions easily with breath, with great food, with great communities, with being outside in nature. We know all this stuff. We've got the science. Now let's just go on with it. Anyway, I'm rambling on here. I did not mean to be on for this long, but anyway, huge love. You'll probably see me again before Christmas, but have a great weekend. And if you're in Argyll and you've not been to that Tarbert Holiday Park facility yet, get yourselves along. The far infrared sauna is a phenomenal healing tool if you're not feeling well. And it's a nice thing to do. Even the ordinary sauna as well. The good thing about the big sauna is you can get, I think, 8 people in it. 10. So it's a beautiful social thing to do. You've got the contrast bathing, you've got the river right there, the trees down there it's a phenomenal space. Anyway, have a great weekend, whatever you do. Ciao, ciao.